Every day, old farmer Bram had lived on the high ridge of Whiston Hill for so long that the wind itself felt like an old friend. It whistled through the apple trees, rattled the shutters, and sang in the chimney on cold nights. Bram would mutter back to it, grumbling about his aching back or thanking it, when it dried his laundry faster than the sun ever could. He'd always thought the wind listened. He never imagined it answered. Every dawn, Bram carried a pail of fresh milk to the crooked fence behind his barn. He set it down in a shallow wooden bowl carved decades ago by his late wife. For the little wanderers, he said each morning, tapping the bowl twice for good measure. Then he returned to his chores. To anyone else, the spot looked empty. But Bram had long noticed curious things. Every day, grass flattened in soft spirals, tiny footprints, not belonging to any bird or beast, and the bowl always licked spotless. Even on freezing nights when no animal stirred, wind sprites, at least that's what he suspected. His grandmother had told stories about them shy and half-invisible children of air and sky, gentle and less provoked, drawn to warmth, innocence, and fresh dairy. Bram didn't know whether that was folklore or fact, but it made enough sense for him. And besides, leaving milk for unseen neighbors felt less lonely. On the morning of the Spring's Crest Festival, Bram stepped out to find the wind unusually restless. It darted around his boots, tugged at his beard, and rattled the shutters like impatient fingers. All right, Bram snapped. Mook's coming. He set down the bowl, but before he could straighten, a soft giggle rose behind him. Bram froze. Very slowly, he turned. They shimmered like heat mirages, barely formed bodies with hair made of breeze, tossed threads, eyes like bright pockets of sky. 3 of them hovered just above the grass, wind sprites, real ones, small as children, and watching him with the nervous delight of creatures unused to being seen. Well, Bram muttered, I'll be. One sprite drifted closer, her outline flickering. You'll see us. Plain as I see my goats, Bram said. Every day, though, his heart thumped like a hammer. Didn't know if you'd ever show yourselves. The smallest sprite dipped his hands into the milk. The liquid rose with him as though gravity had surrendered. The others giggled and copied him, swirling tiny whirlwinds around the bowl. Bram chuckled. At least you enjoy it. We do, the taller sprite said softly. We have for years. A warmth settled in Bram's chest. Would have put out cookies too if I'd known you had a sweet tooth. They shared a ripple of delighted whispers. But then the sky darkened. Not a cloud moved in. Clouds didn't have time. Darkness simply appeared, as though someone placed a heavy blanket over the sun. Thunder cracked, sharp and sudden. The sprites flinched. One of them clung to Bram's coat. What's this nonsense? Bram muttered, looking up. Wind roared down in a spiraling column that hit the ground before him. The pressure knocked Bram to one knee. Lightning flickered within the whirlwind, blinding, white alive. When the storm peeled open, a towering figure stepped out. His form was shaped like a man, but made entirely of roiling storm clouds, with lightning for bones and eyes of deep, endless sky. The earth trembled beneath him. The sprites shrank back. Bram instinctively moved in front of them. The storm giant tilted his head. His voice was thunder muffled by distance. Old man of the hill, why do you give my children milk? A Bram swallowed, hard. Didn't know they were yours. Didn't know you existed, to be honest. Lightning crackled. You fed them. You sheltered them. You spoke to them with kindness. Bram sighed. Well, someone had to. They're just little things. Seem lonely. The Storm Lord thundered softly, almost like distant laughter. Few mortals offer hospitality without fear. Hospitality's simple, Bram said. Fear complicates it. The giant stepped closer. The air shimmered with electric warmth. My children are wanderers by nature. Gave them comfort. He paused. For that, I owe you a boon. Bram blinked. A boon. I'm a simple farmer. Simple does not mean small. The Storm Lord answered. He extended a hand of swirling cloud. A tiny spark floated from his palm and settled onto Bram's chest. Warmth seeped through him, not harmful but renewing. His stiff spine loosened, his joints unknotted, and years of fatigue lifted like dust blown off an old shelf. Bram gasped. What did you do? I restored your strength, said the Storm Lord. So you may continue caring for the land you love, and for my children should they visit again. With that, he dissolved into wind and cloud, and the sky brightened as if nothing had happened. The sprites tugged at Bram's sleeves, giggling with relief. "Thank you for standing up for us," one whispered. Bram smiled. "Well, someone's got to watch over you wanderers." And from that day on, the wind around Weston Hill carried laughter far sweeter than any storm.